Welcome back to SilverWars.com.
Yeah.
We're your front line in the fight for truth about silver,
Absolutely.
the most critical mineral.
It is.
And, we've been sounding the alarm about a silver shortage for a while now.
We have.
And the SilverWars research team, they just keep uncovering more evidence to support our concerns.
It's truly remarkable how much information is out there, but
Yeah.
it's like pulling teeth.
It is.
To get to those in power to acknowledge the issue.
It's mind-boggling, isn't it?
It is.
The SilverWars research team has been pouring through reports from the USGS, the Department of Energy, the DLA, the UN even.
Yeah.
And, silver's just glaringly absent from their lists of critical minerals.
That they're wearing blinders.
That they're wearing blinders.
Yeah.
You would think, with all this talk about clean energy and securing our supply chains,
Right.
that silver would be at the top of everyone's priority list.
Exactly.
But it's not.
It's not.
And that is a dangerous game we're playing. It is a dangerous game.
Because here's the thing, folks. Silver is absolutely essential.
It is.
It is the best electrical conductor on the planet, which is why it's used in everything.
It is.
From solar panels to electronics to medical devices, you name it.
It's true.
There is no substitute.
At least not yet.
Not yet.
No.
And this isn't just about our economy or our technological advancement.
Right.
What's really fascinating here is how silver plays a critical role in our national security.
Yes.
Think about all the defense technologies that rely on silver. Communication systems, radar, missile guidance, even things like night vision goggles.
Absolutely.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
But nobody seems to be talking about it.
Nope.
We dug up a report from Congress dating all the way back to 2018.
Oh, wow.
Where they specifically suggested adding silver to the critical minerals list.
Yeah.
It's right there in black and white.
And yet here we are, years later.
I know. And still no action.
No action. What's even more perplexing is the DOE's stance on silver.
I agree.
On one hand, they call it a key material.
Right.
They even gave a company called Solar Cycle $1.5 million.
Wow.
To figure out how to recycle silver from solar panels.
Interesting.
So hold on. Let me get this straight.
Okay.
The DOE is literally funding research into silver recycling.
Right.
Which acknowledges its importance.
Yes.
But they still won't officially label it as critical.
It's a head-scratcher for sure.
It is a head-scratcher.
Yeah.
It almost feels like there's a disconnect between what the experts on the ground are seeing and what's happening in the higher levels of government.
Maybe it's not a disconnect. Maybe it's something more intentional.
Okay.
But look, we're not here to speculate. We're here to deal with facts.
Facts.
And the fact is that the solar industry is already consuming a massive chunk
It is.
of the global silver supply.
Huge.
Some estimates say up to 20%.
20%.
And that demand is only going to increase exponentially
Oh, yeah.
in the coming years
For sure.
as the world scrambles to install more solar panels.
Yeah.
The International Energy Agency, not exactly a fringe group,
Right.
has warned that silver shortages could be a major showstopper for the clean energy transition.
Let me repeat that for the folks in the back. A showstopper.
Yeah.
We're talking about the potential collapse of the entire green energy movement.
It's possible.
Because we don't have enough silver.
It's a possibility.
And it gets even more alarming.
Yeah.
When you factor in the predictions about dwindling silver reserves.
Right.
Some experts believe we could deplete all known reserves.
All known reserves.
Within the next 20 years.
Wow.
Largely driven by demand from the solar industry.
That's incredible.
That's not some distant future.
No.
That's right around the corner.
It's right around the corner.
And just to add another layer of concern,
Okay.
we have to talk about China. Because not only does China have a massive grip
They do.
on solar panel manufacturing,
Yeah.
they also control a significant portion
They do.
of the global supply of many critical minerals,
A lot of them.
including silver.
Including silver.
So here we have this incredibly important resource,
Yes.
vital for our technology, our economy,
Yeah.
our national defense.
Yes.
And we're essentially handing the keys to the kingdom over to China.
It seems that way.
It's a recipe for disaster.
It really begs the question, what will happen to America's energy independence and national security if we continue down this path?
It does. It really does. Look, there is some movement on this issue,
Okay.
even if it's at a snail's pace.
Okay.
The House recently passed something called the Critical Mineral Consistency Act of 2024.
Interesting. So this bill, the Critical Mineral Consistency Act, it aims to change how the U.S. government designates critical minerals.
Okay.
It's a step in the right direction, for sure.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit.
Okay.
What's the current situation
Right.
with these designations?
Yeah.
The SilverWars research team pulled some data from the USGS.
Okay.
And honestly, it's a bit concerning.
What did they find?
Well, the USGS has a very specific methodology for classifying critical minerals.
Right.
And it's based on a few key factors.
Yeah.
They look at supply chain vulnerability.
Okay.
So how much do we rely on imports for a given mineral?
Right.
They assess economic importance, meaning how much does that mineral contribute to our economy?
Okay.
And then they evaluate the potential impact of a shortage.
Uh-huh.
So what would actually happen if we couldn't get access to that mineral anymore?
Gotcha.
So based on those criteria,
Yeah.
why isn't silver already on the list?
Right.
It seems like it ticks all the boxes.
It does seem that way.
Yeah.
So
That's the million-dollar question.
is
And that's what this Critical Mineral Consistency Act of 2024 is trying to address.
okay.
It's aiming to make the process more transparent
Okay.
and ensure that decisions are based on sound data and analysis.
Not on political whims or lobbying pressure.
Because let's be honest,
Yeah.
there's a lot of money at stake here.
There is.
The folks who benefit from the status quo,
Right.
those who don't want to see silver recognized as a critical mineral,
Uh-huh.
they have a lot of influence.
A lot of influence.
And that lack of transparency,
Yeah.
that potential for manipulation,
Yeah.
it's deeply troubling.
It is.
This isn't just some academic exercise.
No.
We're talking about the future of our country,
Right.
our energy security,
Yes.
our national defense.
Absolutely.
We can't afford to be making decisions based on anything other than the facts.
We can't.
And the facts, as far as we can see, point to silver being a critical mineral.
They do.
Look, the USGS might not be ready to make that call,
Yeah.
but we've got reports from multiple other sources sounding the alarm.
Like who?
The International Energy Agency, for example, has
Right.
been quite vocal about the potential for silver shortages to derail the clean energy transition.
It has.
They even called it a potential showstopper.
Yeah.
Imagine a scenario where the world is poised to embrace solar power on a massive scale, only to be hamstrung by a lack of silver.
Right.
The implications are staggering.
They are.
It's not just about solar panels either.
No, it's not.
Think about all the other applications for silver,
Yeah.
from electronics to medical devices.
Right.
And let's not forget about the military.
The military, of course.
As we discussed earlier,
Yeah.
silver is used in countless defense technologies.
It is.
If we can't access enough silver,
Right.
these technologies could become unreliable,
Yeah.
prohibitively expensive,
Uh-huh.
or even obsolete.
It's possible.
And even if there were alternative materials,
Right.
developing and implementing them would take time
Yes.
and significant resources.
Absolutely.
We can't just flip a switch
No.
and expect a new silver replacement to magically appear.
Right.
So this is why we need to be proactive, not reactive.
I agree.
We need to acknowledge the strategic importance of silver now and start taking steps to secure our supply chains.
Absolutely.
One thing that really stood out to me
Yeah.
in the SilverWars research team's findings is the issue of recycling.
Recycling, absolutely. We can't just keep mining more and more silver.
No.
We need to get serious about recycling the silver we already have in circulation.
Right.
It's a massive untapped resource.
It is. We spoke with some folks at SolarCycle,
Okay.
and they're doing some incredible work in this area.
Oh, wow.
They've developed techniques to recover silver from old solar panels,
Wow.
which could become a major source of supply in the future.
That's great.
Their work is truly groundbreaking,
It is.
and it highlights the potential for innovation in the recycling sector.
Absolutely.
Think about all the silver sitting in landfills,
Right.
in old electronics, in industrial waste.
Yeah.
We need to be smarter about how we manage this precious resource.
We do.
Recycling is not just about being environmentally friendly.
Right.
It's about national security. It's about economic resilience.
It's about all of those things.
We need a paradigm shift.
I like that.
A move away from a linear take, make, dispose model
Yes.
to a circular economy where resources are reused and recycled.
I agree.
And this goes beyond just government policies and corporate initiatives.
Right.
It's about individual responsibility, too.
It is.
We can all do our part
Mhm.
by properly recycling our old electronics, choosing products that use less silver, and supporting companies that are committed to sustainable practices.
I agree with all of that.
Absolutely. If we connect this to the bigger picture, we see a clear trend.
What's that?
Resource scarcity is becoming a defining challenge of the 21st century.
It really is.
Silver's just one example.
Right.
But it's a powerful one.
It is.
Because it's so closely tied to our technological advancement and national security.
Very true.
And this brings us back to China's dominance in the silver market.
Okay.
If we continue to rely on them for this critical mineral, we're putting ourselves at a strategic disadvantage.
We are.
It's like handing them a loaded gun and hoping they don't use it against us.
Yeah.
We need to break free from this dependence and build a more resilient, diversified supply chain.
We do.
This silver shortage is a wake-up call, folks.
It is.
It's a reminder that we can't just assume that we'll always have access to the resources we need.
Right.
We need to be strategic.
Yes.
We need to be innovative.
Yeah.
And we need to take action now before it's too late.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So we've painted a pretty stark picture here.
We have.
Rising demand, dwindling supply,
Yeah.
geopolitical tensions, and just a general lack of awareness about the strategic importance of silver.
It's true.
But I don't want to leave our listeners feeling hopeless.
Right.
What can we do as individuals?
Yeah, what can we do
to address this silver crisis?
That's the right question to be asking. It's easy to feel powerless.
It is.
In the face of such a complex issue.
Right.
But there are things we can do, both collectively and individually, to make a difference.
So let's start with the collective action. What are some things that need to happen at a policy level or within industries to get this silver situation under control?
Well, first and foremost, we need to see silver officially designated as a critical mineral.
Okay.
That would trigger a whole cascade of actions.
Yeah.
From increased investment in domestic mining and recycling to the development of strategic stockpiles.
Right.
That Critical Minerals Consistency Act we discussed earlier is a good first step, but we need to keep the pressure on Congress to make sure it actually gets implemented.
Okay, and what about the executive branch? What can the president do to address this?
Well, the president could issue an executive order prioritizing silver as a strategic material that would send a clear signal to federal agencies to take the issue seriously and allocate resources accordingly.
Right.
It could also incentivize private sector investment in silver production and recycling.
It's like a Manhattan Project, but for silver.
Think of it like that. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got policy changes, we've got executive orders.
Right.
That all makes sense.
Yeah.
But what about the average person listening right now?
Yeah.
What can they do to make a difference?
There are actually a lot of things individuals can do. For starters, we can be more conscious consumers.
Yeah.
When you're buying electronics, do your research.
Okay.
Look for companies that are using less silver in their products or that have robust recycling programs.
Vote with your wallet, as they say.
Exactly. And speaking of recycling, make sure you're properly disposing of your old electronics.
Right.
Don't just throw them in the trash.
Yeah.
Find a reputable recycler that can recover the valuable metals, including silver.
Okay, so we're talking about reducing demand by being more mindful of our consumption.
Yeah.
And we're increasing supply through responsible recycling.
Yes.
What else?
Here's an idea that might sound a bit radical.
Okay.
But it's something to consider. We can start thinking of silver as an investment.
Okay.
Not just for financial gain, but as a way to secure our own future access to this critical material.
That's an interesting concept. You mean like actually buying physical silver?
Exactly. If enough people start holding physical silver, it would put upward pressure on the price.
Okay.
Which would create incentives for more mining, more exploration, and more recycling.
Right.
It's also a hedge against inflation and economic uncertainty.
So it's kind of like taking your financial future into your own hands.
Yeah.
But in a way that also benefits national security.
That's one way to look at it. Of course, it's important to do your research before making any investment decisions.
Absolutely. We're not financial advisors here at SilverWars.com.
Right.
But we do believe that having a basic understanding of the silver market is crucial for anyone who's concerned about the future of technology, the economy, and national security.
This whole silver situation, it really highlights the interconnectedness of everything.
It does.
Our technological advancements, our economic prosperity, our national security, it's all tied to our access to critical resources.
It's a wake-up call for sure.
It is.
It's a reminder that we need to be proactive, we need to be informed.
We do.
And we need to take action.
Absolutely. We can't just sit back and wait for the government to fix this.
No.
We need to take ownership of the problem and be part of the solution.
So if you're listening to this and you're feeling even a little bit concerned about the silver shortage, You're not alone.
You're not alone.
There are things we can do, both big and small, to make a difference.
There are.
Head over to SilverWars.com to explore the data, learn more about this issue, and find out how you can get involved.
It's a great resource.
The future of silver, and indeed the future of our planet, depends on it.
It does.
Thank you for joining us on this critical deep dive into the silver crisis.
It was a pleasure being here.
We'll keep you updated on this and other important developments as they unfold. Until then, stay informed, stay vigilant, and stay silver strong.